Believe it or not, it has to do with your evolutionary psychology. You know that just belief that you have, a strong desire that has you believing that against all odds, that you're going to be one of the winners in this game, that you're going to conquer trading. You've done the numbers, and my God, you look at it and go, oh my God, you can make a lot of money. I can get rich quick. I can be in financial freedom. And you get intoxicated. You start dreaming that dream, you start chasing that dream. And yet at the same time, what you start noticing is that you get in there and you just have this enormous motivation to win. You see the vision. You want to conquer it. And yet at the same time, that very mind is from your distant past. There was a time, not too many tens of thousands of years ago, where we needed to believe against all odds that we were going to survive. We were in a very hostile environment. And we human beings didn't have all the cool tools. You know, they didn't have the houses, they didn't have the guns. They had little spears, and there were awesome predators around. We had to believe that by migration, whatever, that we are going to land on top and that we're going to win. That was a limbic learning. That's the way the emotional brain learns. It starts putting learning in that's amoral and just locks it in, and it becomes pattern. That became a trait. It was so successful, this need to win, this belief that I'm going to prevail against all odds, kind of that Rocky mentality, that it became a trait that we started inheriting, and it started to become part of our genome. Then, nobody said anything. I want to tell you, it was very successful. Without that trait, we're not the human beings we are today. Yet, at the same time, when we bring that trait to trading, danger, danger, danger. Suddenly, what used to be so good, so adaptive for us, that belief that we could conquer, we could conquest anything, we could become anything against all odds, suddenly is used against us in trading. Because trading and the environment that we grew up in through evolution are completely different. The environment of trading is about probability. It's not about certainty. We needed the certainty of victory, of being able to master something and to win, even if that's not what was going to really happen. We needed to believe it. We needed to believe it at the very core of our being. Otherwise, we would have not have been able to become the species that we are. Yet, we take that hard-earned trait that allowed us to survive, short-term survival, we bring it into the long-term survival of trading, and it is used against us. Suddenly what we discover is that we want to win. We have this desire. We want to make things happen. And yet what we discover is that the more we do that, the more we bull run right into that wall, it hurts. We start losing money. We may blow up accounts. We may bleed. And the thing is understand that it was very useful back then, yet it's not useful now. Two completely different environments, friend. Two completely different environments. The world of probability that requires you to recognize that you do not control outcome. No matter how hard you believe, you can't make things happen. In fact, what happens is you become a good, ambush predator. You don't stalk, you don't go after. What you do is you wait for the opportunity to come to you. Completely different thing. And you're not thinking, I have to win. What you're doing is you're saying, I'm calculating, and I know that I'm going to be losing a lot, so I need to be able to manage that loss. You know, that's a dead human species if you're thinking that way 20,000 years ago. But here we are. That's what we bring into the game of trading. We bring an old mind rooted in survival instincts that were good for us way back then, and we bring it into trading, and we discover something. It's not useful there. What was good for us then is not good for us now. And what you discover is the mind that you brought to trading is not going to be the mind that produces success in trading. So this thing where you really think you're going to win against all odds, the thing that blows up traders in 3 to 5 years, 3 to 5 years. Remember, rough numbers, somewhere between 95 and 98% of traders are going to blow through their capital in 3 to 5 years, and they're going to be gone. They're no longer in the selection mode. They're gone. And yet, and that's because they're sitting there and pushing their agenda of, I've got to win, I'm going to win, I'm going to win. Against all odds, I can make this thing happen. When in fact, you start noticing in trading is you don't control outcome. You don't control whether or not you win or lose. You don't control whether or not you're right or wrong. What you're engaging is randomness. You're engaging the uncertainty of the markets. You've got risk there. Scary stuff. The risk of life to the caveman that is your ancestor. And you've got challenge. You've got a short period of time when this thing's been happening. And all of a sudden those survival instincts kick in. And suddenly you have this enormous desire to win. I can prevail. I can prevail. And yet again and again and again, as the capital shrinks, you discover is, I'm not doing it. But the Holy Grail's out there. Friends, if you survive this particular moment, and remember, most don't, what you discover is the Holy Grail is not out there. It's right here. It's right here, friends. What happens is your job is to go in and really start discovering what beliefs are you engaging uncertainty with? Not the ones you talk about, not the ones that says, I'm going to win, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to make all things happen, and everything, it's just going to be, I've got it. I can win against all odds. No. The beliefs that show up under stress as you engage uncertainty with risk. Friends, that's the name of the game. To do that, you're going to have to learn how to regulate emotion. You're going to have to learn a totally different way of understanding emotions. But you're going to have to regulate that emotion. But more than that, you're going to have to get in and find the beliefs that are driving those emotions as you engage uncertainty. Friends, that's what most traders don't do. They keep believing that they can just push through it, that they're going to win at all odds. The truth is you're not. The truth is that you're going to have to you're going to have to get at these very deep emotional beliefs that you don't even know you have, that are below conscious threshold. And you're going to have to find them and alter them so that as you engage uncertainty, it's not about winning or losing. It's literally about how you play that game, the mind you bring into that performance. And what you discover is the Holy Grail is managing the mind, managing the emotions that give rise to the mind that engages uncertainty. Friends, that's the Holy Grail. It's right here. It's not out there. It's not in all your, I'm going to win, I'm going to win, I'm going to win. It's not about looking at the numbers and saying, all I have to do is keep emotions at bay. You're never going to keep emotions at bay. You are an emotional being. The key is, what emotions are going to show up as you engage the unknown? Okay? Evolution is going to say fight, flight, aggression, or fear. However, by design, you can learn to approach with curiosity, with discipline, with impartiality, with patience. And as you do that, friends, you let go of the need to win and lose.
Man, Randy Howell, guys, Randy Howell. If you don't know who he is, I highly recommend you follow him. Okay? Randy Howell. Dropping some bars. Alright, guys. Good morning, good morning. You guys already know Mondays we wipe the charts. We start everything from scratch. Welcome everyone. My name is Bastian Suhart. I'm over here in Utah, and it is 7:11 right now in the morning. About 30 degrees Fahrenheit. We're gonna have an amazing week. Okay, guys, so in terms of the dollar, we've traded into this previous area of distribution. We have swept a previous monthly high, and right now the monthly already has one more week, one more day, one more trading day, about 2 days. Okay, today and tomorrow, trading days to close. And honestly, it does look like we could potentially come for this low before we continue going higher. But my objective overall is to continue going higher. I do see us continuing bullishness, and yeah, long term I'm bullish. Short term, I want to see this low get taken out. You know, I want to see that low get taken out and then eventually run for the high as well. So, but short term, I'm long term, and short term I would like to see this low get taken out before we go long. So I'm gonna leave that there. Also, we're gonna leave this here, the monthly gap that we had there for a while now. Give me one sec. Okay. Now we have this monthly low. We have some insufficiencies here on the left. And we have this previous area of accumulation that we traded down to, that we could trade back down to. So there's a couple of things down there that we can trade back down to. Hey, good morning, Jerome. Let's have an amazing week, brother. Let's run it. All right, so still bullish on the weekly. I am looking for higher price action. I do think that we're going to get like a nice, retracement, or we're going to play around before we do so. And so for me, at least, the goal is to, in the next week or two, to get up here. Okay, being that it's the end of the month, I think a lot of liquidity has already been ran, and this month itself has built up a lot of liquidity. So I'm going to be looking for price action to long term be bullish, but I will accept the fact that we may be bearish or consolidate for another week, given that we still are at the end of the month. So this is the last and first week of November. This is the last week of October and first week of November. So on Wednesday, we're actually going to get quite a bit of news. And I want to go over this real quick before we keep going, because I think it's important for everybody to understand what this week has in store for us. So I'm not going to look at Monday. Monday really doesn't have anything that interests me. I'm going to focus from Tuesday to Friday. Okay. My focus is going to be mainly on from Tuesday to Friday. And even Tuesday is going to get a little neglected. I'm not going to lie. Okay. So let's look here. The economic calendar. So Monday, like I said, there's no US dollar news. It was just a bunch of Euro and JPY. Tuesday here at 8:30 Eastern, we have employment cost report, and then at 10 a.m. we have another consumer confidence. Guys, I just want you to just know, if you don't know this already, consumer confidence comes out every week. Okay, it's not a very high impact news. So I'm not really gonna be too active or looking at Tuesday. I'm gonna stay attentive to it, but I'm not looking to play off of it. Then we have Wednesday with Euro, bank holiday, and then US dollar right off the bat at 8:15. We got a non-farm employment change, or ADP. Okay, right at 8:15, a lot earlier in the morning. And then at 10 a.m. we have manufacturing PMI. Okay, I know we've had PMI a lot lately. So last week we had two. One was flash PMI and the other one was ISM PMI. And now we have it again this week. Last week it didn't really have that much impact. Okay, last week it really had almost no impact, actually. So I'm not going to be surprised if this one, because it's on FOMC morning, I'm not going to be surprised if it really doesn't do anything. Usually FOMC mornings, we don't do much. We just build up liquidity on both ends. So I'm not going to be surprised if that's the case again for this PMI manufacturing report on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Then you guys know we have FOMC. Okay, FOMC conference at 2:30. So I will be on with my team. Yeah, I will be on with a private group chat for FOMC, and then I'll be on for the conference as well. So for those of you in the private community, I'll see you guys there for sure. Thursday, won't be really doing much myself. Thursday's going to be a day where I'm going to be chilling, but at 8:30 we do have unemployment claims on Thursday. Just be attentive to that if you decide to participate in the markets. And then Friday, imagine that we have the first Friday of the month. Therefore, we have some non-farm employment, NFP. So Wednesday FOMC, Friday NFP. Okay, so very eventful week. Very eventful week. Yeah, lots and lots there. Hold on. Sorry, I needed to close my Twitter. It's getting a little toxic there. Or just a lot of that war stuff going on. I personally, I don't mind the war stuff. I just can't watch. I have a hard time looking at gory things, right? So when it comes to like Twitter has no chill, and it's just gory sometimes. But yeah, no, when I don't, it's not that I mind the war stuff. I really do have faith that everything will get resolved and people will make it out. I pray for people that are over there dealing with this whole thing. I couldn't imagine myself going through something like that, but I do have a hard time watching that stuff. Like I try to stay away from it just because I personally can't watch gory shit. Like, yeah, I can't watch gory stuff, man. I have a hard time looking at all the war stuff, so gotta turn off Twitter every once in a while. All right, so on a weekly perspective, again, yeah, no, gory stuff, like especially my biggest one is like children. Like, I don't know if you guys ever watched the movie Sinister, the horror movie Sinister. That one's like one of my top favorite movies, and I just don't like watching shit like that. Anything to do with children too. Like, I already don't like gory things, right? But then you add gory plus children, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't know how to do all that. But anyways, in terms of dollar, guys, I am pretty bullish. I remain bullish long term. Again, on a monthly perspective, we can poke down there. We may, but likelihood is we probably will remain above that low for this week. Okay, so long term, still bullish. In the next 2 weeks, I want to see us get back into this weekly insufficiency. For this current week, I mean, the dollar remains bullish in my eyes, and 50% and below is down here. I do believe that we can come a lot lower. That being the range, honestly, makes sense just because we took out this low here and we took out that high there. If you want to look at it in structure, I would say that this is your range. And again, 50% or below, this whole range is right there. So this low does get my attention. And if you look here on the daily perspective, we just took out a low here. I'm not really going to be surprised if this isn't like an accumulation point. Honestly, it is 50% or below. It is internal liquidity. I would like us to go a little bit deeper. We don't have to. But I definitely don't take this as the low of the week. So just an FYI. But I do see all this liquidity that we have accumulated to the upside. So if I had to say for daily objective, that previous daily high does get my attention. But again, I don't see us really taking such a big reversal. We'll see. If we do reverse, these are the 2 points in which I want to see price action take its turnaround. after these 2 points. If we respect this previous area of distribution, we're just going to continue moving lower into this area. But if we accumulate, we have the potential to come up here eventually. So I'm going to leave that there. And I'm actually going to journal this as well because I have yet to fill out my journal. So 1 second. Weekly. Alright, I just wanted to make sure everything was cleaned up because it looks kind of messy on the weekly. There we go. Weekly wise, yes, I'm looking at 107 280. Okay, 107 280. So I know it's a little bit further out, but it is what I'm currently looking at. Again, it's more of like a 2-week outlook. I'm okay if I get this current week incorrect. It happens sometimes. Give me 1 second. Yeah, DXY. And on DXY, we're looking at 107. .280. Understanding. I'm gonna put monthly, my monthly objective as well. My initial monthly objective right now. So I'm gonna note this image right here. Not this one right here. Guess that doesn't need to be visible on the monthly. But I'm gonna note this image right here because I do believe that maybe we can pull back and then get after the month is over, and then we'll get a nice push higher. So I'm gonna put that as my monthly. All right, my objective is 107 280. I'm looking for a bullish week. Okay. And then in terms of a daily objective, I'm looking at this previous area of distribution, if not this continuation to the downside. But yeah, like I said, I don't think that this is going to be the low of the week. I feel very doubtful of that. Maybe we'll come into this previous area of distribution and just continue pushing towards the downside. Maybe we'll come back to some liquidity in here and continue pushing to the downside. There's a lot of scenarios that could happen here, but we'll see how. Price action does look like it wants to turn around though, for sure. And we do look like we want to turn around from here, and it would be an ideal area to do so. But again, personally, just looking for more shorts. This one, I'd say for later on this week, like an intermediate goal towards my weekly. And then for today, I want to say this downside. I'm going to remain bearish. All right, so NASDAQ. Cool. Okay, so NASDAQ, again, we'll wipe out the charts. On a higher time frame perspective, I'm just asking myself, in which direction are we currently printing? And personally, I see a little bit more downside. In the monthly, there's quite a bit to drop. I don't know how the continuous chart looks like, the continuous contract, but it can't differ too much. Yeah, same thing. We are trading within this insufficiency here. It's in the lower portion of that premium. It may give some support. I know that on the weekly we are super bearish already. We took out the lower low. We traded into this insufficiency. But honestly, guys, I do believe that we're going to go lower. So I am bearish and I am looking for this downside. This right here is my monthly. Right, and this right here is my weekly. Okay, and that is at 13,900 even. 13,900 even. Give me 1 second. My Notion logged me out for some reason. 1 second. I've never been logged out of my Notion, and now it's logging me out. That's super weird. And it froze. Notion setup, installing. Damn. Damn. I don't think anything's saved for today. Oh no, it all saved. Yes. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Boom. Alright. I appreciate you guys. Okay. Sorry about that. Alright, so NASDAQ weekly. I mean, I have the monthly and the weekly here, so I'm gonna put both. I'll put monthly. And then on my weekly perspective, I do anticipate more shorts. Not right off the bat, but that's my bias, is some more shorting opportunities. I'm pretty much super bearish, so I'm 13,900 level looks very good, very attractive in my eyes. And on a daily perspective, I'm looking at this low right here, this imbalance right here, okay, and then this area right here that we created between Friday and Thursday, which I thought was very weird. Okay, hold on, there's another gap down here. There's a gap down here. So let's kind of explain this whole thing. Okay. When I'm personally looking at where we could potentially go, I always go based off the previous candles in terms of direction and objective. We don't print in any direction without an objective. That's just how the price is. We don't print in any direction without an objective. So if this is my high and my range has yet to finish from the low, I have no range on this end, right? So I have to go based off the monthly range right here. There's no other range, right? So in terms of the monthly, I'm gonna go from the 50% to the high, okay? Which is, give me 1 sec. Right there, okay? To the high. All right, and I'm gonna divide that premium range in half. Okay, and even this range, you can divide it one more time into quarters, but this I believe is enough. You guys can see that 50% and above is this area. I don't believe that we're gonna get down in there anytime soon, so I'm gonna divide this area one more time. Okay, and now we are trading within this premium range, the quarterly premium. Okay, this is the most I'll divide something. So if I have a range, okay, first you divide it in half, and then the most I'll divide, so I'll go halves there, and then the most I'll ever divide something is one final slice on both ends. If the range is large, that's how I'll divide the fibs. At the most, this is the most I'll go down in division. So that's where that range came from. Okay, and I know some of this will go over some of your heads and maybe some of you will not understand why I do it that way, but it is because the range here, when it's too large, you still have a range, but when it's the lower time frame ranges are finished or are incomplete, you can't just up and measure these. And then if you don't have a range, you got to be able to measure out your premium to discount algorithm, right? Price action tends to, there's an algorithm that delivers premium and discount and builds up premium and discount liquidity, okay? And so as we're seeking out premium to go short, we're going to run for discount, right, to target on the shorts. And this is how you notice or note your very large ranges. Because again, I can't just mark up my weekly range because we don't know when it's actually finished. It's not over, I guess, till it's over, you could say. Okay, so I'm looking 50% and above on this range. I'm looking more on the premium. Okay, of course, we're in premium on the monthly. We're just looking at the premium side of this discount of the premium, if that makes sense. So right here, this, if we're looking at our whole picture again, okay, and we divide it in half, we divide those halves by halves, okay, right now what we're looking at is this section right here. So we're in premium on the monthly, but we're on, this is like the discount of the premium. This whole bottom half is the discount of the premium, and the discount of that premium has a discount and premium, and we're in the premium of that discounted monthly area. So right here, this is my previous area of distribution. I'm looking at these three areas. First, previous daily high, this gap right here, and then previous daily lows right there, okay? And then of course we have the previous weekly low that we can target for the shorts later on. So we're gonna mark that out as well. And then we're gonna note the current gap, okay? Where Friday's closure and Sunday's open. Okay, and we're gonna drag that to the right. So that's currently what I see on NASDAQ in terms of a range. See, we're traveling towards that upside. Maybe we get to the higher end of that liquidity right there. I do want to see, actually, when we get up in this range, I want to see this liquidity on the premium range of this gap. I want to see that level of liquidity, 50% and above of this range, to get tapped and traded to. Right now, just targeting the previous daily high. I'm going deeper into premium. Notice how we tapped into the high of the new week opening gap and then started trading away. Is this the opening price? Yep. The opening just happened about 5 minutes ago. I'm personally not in anything. I'm not rushing to get into anything today. Just watching price action. A lot of things are gonna look, a lot of setups are gonna look really good. They usually do on FOMC week, but they usually don't run for the liquidity as well as any other days. Okay, so I'm not gonna be surprised if we just build up more liquidity for the day. Let's go on Dow. Dow, this range is crazy. But Dow on the monthly. Okay, and then taking that, dividing that as well. Okay. Taking this low into consideration, taking this gap into consideration here. That gap down there, taking this low into consideration, and then this gap that was created right there. Yeah. Yeah, for me, the weekly here is pretty clean in terms of more shorts. I gotta drag this guy out a little bit more. So we have enough data on the right. Okay. So on a weekly perspective, I mean, that low just seems so smackable. So I'm gonna aim for that low. We're looking at 32,374. 32,374. And then on NASDAQ, I actually missed NASDAQ daily objective. So we're going to go back over here and let me take a picture real quick. And out of that whole range, everything that I divided, I'm going to delete most of this stuff just because I don't need it on all the time. So we'll leave it right there. Boom. Okay, on NASDAQ, the monthly objectives are those ups. I mean, those daily objectives are the upside, which we're basically already at. But I'm going to note this as my daily objective for NASDAQ, and then we'll go to Dow. And weekly objective, I'm looking at that low. Okay, at 32,374. $32,374, and then yep, just another short bias on my end for the week. Okay, we may come 50% and above, just doesn't really have to happen. All those areas do look really good to just continue shorting. So there's two areas here that really get my attention first, and it's these two guys. The gap that we're currently trading into gets my attention. And in terms of the daily, yeah, that imbalance right there really gets my attention. So that is an objective that I'm currently looking at. I do believe that we could potentially get back down there. I mean, back up there. So I'm going to note that as my daily objective. Yeah, we are trading in this gap. We could just short off. It's a possibility we just end up shorting off, continuing bearish order flow, and then that's it. But yeah, my eyes go towards above this previous daily high, above Friday's high. But again, we can just short off from this gap. That was the first area that got my attention. All this slight liquidity towards the downside. What is this right here? Oh, the contract expires. Nice. We're getting pretty close. One more month with this contract, and then that's it. We're less than a month with this contract now. About a month left, actually. Yeah. Lots of this liquidity towards the downside. And hold on, I have not looked at any comments or anything. Let's see. Cool. Yeah, my boy Gus. What's good, bro? All right. From that 15-minute imbalance, we seem to be getting that reaction towards the downside. Again, just looking at more bearishness on dollar. Indices seeking out the highs. Dow. Hopefully we seek out the high. On S&P, I haven't deleted anything on S&P, so let me go there. S&P is looking pretty ready. I'm not gonna lie. S&P does look pretty good. I mean, if S&P decided to just stop dropping there and waited for the other two to turn around, like this would be the area. Excuse me. In terms of the weekly, this area does get my attention, and this imbalance. This low as well gets my attention. We're going to mark out the gaps. And then the upside gaps right there. And then do we have any here that I want to know? That's a pretty big one. I'm trading into one kind of right now. No, I think we're good. So in terms of weekly objectives, we already hit that low. We hit that low very nicely. In terms of a weekly objective, I feel like we may get down here. I'm gonna check one sec. Yeah, in terms of a weekly objective, I think that's gonna be my goal right there. It's that downside gap. We are accumulating from that new week opening gap. Yep. We're coming on to these previous daily highs right here. These look very likely to be taken out, to be honest. The way we're pumping towards the upside. 4-hour previous daily high. Yep. So as a daily objective, that's my objective on S&P, is that previous daily high. And then give me 1 second. I swear I marked out that gap. There's so many gaps here. But that's for sure one of the ones that I want to mark out. Again, I'm not marking anything out with the intention of price action going to it and trading to it. I'm marking things out with the intention of seeing price action move from one PD array to another. Okay, that's always going to be the objective. Just looking at price action move from one PD array to another. Okay, so 4-hour looking pretty nice. Take out that high. We traded down into the previous daily opening gap and just accumulated right out of that area. There's some imbalance here on the left that we traded, that was created to sweep out this previous low. We traded down into that imbalance here. It's right there. Okay. So as of right now, I mean, no buttons for me. Price action is climbing up pretty nicely. Let's go. And let me just go warm up some water. I'm gonna make. I haven't had a coffee in a really long fucking time. I'm telling you guys, I haven't not had a good coffee like in a minute. I'm not one to drink caffeine. My hands like shake. They have like, I have like hand tremor. I don't know. I'm very sensitive to caffeine. But I honestly, like on a cold ass morning like this one, it's still dark outside. It's cold as fuck. And the markets are just kind of, doing their thing, right? I'm going to take a couple seconds here to go turn on some water. All right, give me a sec. I'll be right back. All right, guys. All right, guys. Let me ask you a question. Can you guys hear the music? Can you guys hear that music, chat? I'm like wondering, like, cause I could barely hear it, so I'm almost wondering if you guys can hear it. Oh shit, there it is. I've been wondering, like, where was that? Yeah, I'm gonna put it like right there. Yeah, you guys can. Oh, it's faint. Okay, okay, okay. Sorry about that. I was wondering, like, where I couldn't even hear it, so I was just kind of figured nobody else could too. All right. Now it's better. Cool, cool. Filters. Give me 1 second. All right, cool. I hear it in the right tone. Cool. Cool, perfect, guys. I mean, everything's kind of going in our direction pretty well. I think the only one we haven't touched on is EU, so that's where we're gonna go to next. But if you were here on Friday, I mean, our objective did get hit. Unfortunately, I was not a part of it, but our objective did get hit from Friday. Those longs into this daily range ended up playing out beautifully. I am personally bearish on EU. I mean, I know that the daily's bullish, but I am personally bearish on EU. Okay, just an FYI. So let's do the exact same thing that we were doing on EU on everything else. The monthly may be starting a retracement, so the monthly range may be coming to an end here. Okay, and if that's the case, if I get a nice accumulation, then I'll be measuring from this high to this low, and then everything in between. 1 sec. Okay, then you have on the weekly. The weekly is getting my attention with this low right here. Okay, that can somebody tell me? Can somebody tell me what this low is? With this whole push down, what you would call this entire push down here? Can someone tell me what that would be called? Can somebody drop it in the chat? I just had a boot camp earlier in the week, so I'm kind of wondering if anybody paid attention to that. Juan said breaker. Zach said breaker. Fabio said mitigation block. Curious. I'm glad I'm hearing answers from everybody that was in the boot camp, which is awesome. Yeah, this is a breaker. Yeah. So for those of you who answered breaker, this is the one that pushed down. Right? We pushed down, swept previous high, and then broke structure to the downside. So yes, good stuff. Okay, so we have traded into that now. Okay. Again, if we're looking at a bearish week, we want to see a pullback into a previous area of distribution to then continue moving to the downside. If we're looking at this, 1 second. If we're looking at this range currently from that low to that high, the range that is there before ours, okay, that one. And then you got that range, and then you do exactly what we've been doing on the other large ranges that are incomplete on the lower time frames, and we divide that by half. Okay, you have 50% and above, you have all of this. So I do think that we're gonna make it to these areas. Now, does it have to happen for us to go lower? No, this would just be the ideal areas that I'd look at. Okay, but in terms of the daily, I'm already bearish, so I don't think we need to go any higher. If we do, cool, but I'm already bearish. I know the structure is bullish, higher high, higher low, higher high. We took out internal liquidity, but this is also internal liquidity in my eyes. And if I'm looking at the daily range, I'm going to look at it from this low. This low, did it sweep major liquidity? Let's see. It swept a Monday low. Okay, look, that is good for me. That is good enough, where it took a previous weekly low and then took all that liquidity. So that is a valid low for me, and that's the high. Let's took out all that other stuff for now. And currently I'm bearish, and I'll tell you guys why. Okay, it's because we've traded into this previous area distribution here, and this is a new quarterly gap. Okay, this is a quarterly gap right there, and not just any gap, but it's a quarterly gap. Okay, and look over here. Just make sure you're looking at these gaps, noting all the gaps within your range. Okay. Highs and lows, of course, always noting those. And really, another thing that's really making me bearish as hell in this range is this giant down push that we had. Now, again, 50% and above, the only liquidity that I see is this one. Is this the high of the week? I doubt it. But now we can take a stab up in that blue shaded area. That would be my next objective, is a nice stab into that blue shaded area for EU. But I mean, our objective for Friday, hey, super nice. Super nice. We were here. Yeah, it was all of this. I mean, we did go up, but then we came back, took out internal liquidity last night, and then just kept going. I don't trade the Mondays with such high volatility weeks like this. And you guys already know Mondays are my favorite, but you know, I also got to be very cautious with these weeks. Yeah, super clean longs. I mean, whoever was in the longs, beautiful. I know some people were in some GU shorts, but honestly, I did not see shorts this week. I mean, right now, I just saw longs and continuation on those longs to that blue shaded area. Holy shit, that was loud. Sorry about that. Believe it or not, that was my gauge. It just, sometimes they fall out of my ears, and yeah. I did not expect that. I thought I caught it. Okay. Yeah, EU longs were beautiful, and they still are. They're still busting, so blue shaded area up there. DXY kind of just playing around in this zone. Not really surprised. Yep. Beautiful so far. Juan says that bootcamp was lit. Showed up a little late today. Was doing my analysis, and I was just seeing them erase up and down. Yeah, you can see the erase up and down. You know, the bootcamp was all about detachment, like detaching yourself from the outcome of your trading, okay, and just really surrendering to price action. That's the goal all the time. Probably one of the most underrated skill sets that a trader should, in my eyes, be attaining and working for is called surrendering, right? Surrender to price action. Do not anticipate or forecast what's going to happen, but surrender to what's actually taking place and what the market is showing you. Yeah, surrendering. These indice longs were clean too. It's just it happened. I mean, this one was a little bit harder. It swept the lows, right? They were pretty clean in terms of price action, but I mean, break a structure, test. It was really fast. I just don't trade like that anymore. We got another few minutes before the hourly closure. I can say that after the bootcamp, I totally am looking in a different way at the market. That's really cool, bro. I'm really happy to hear that. Really happy to hear that. Yeah. One of my favorite things about that bootcamp is the order block theory, right? Like the order block theory is one of my favorite ones. I dive really deep into that. Just everything goes really well together. There we are. Just trading into these areas here. Previous daily high on S&P. It looks like we're lacking to get to that previous daily high on Dow. And NASDAQ already took out our daily objectives. Okay, NASDAQ did take out our daily objectives here. And it ripped through it with an imbalance. I really like that. I want to see if this imbalance holds on the 1 hour. And if it does, we're looking at a retracement. If we see some distribution at this point, we're looking at potential reversal for the rest of the week. Not the high of the week, but the start of the reversal to continue to go down. All right, guys. So targets. I hope you guys been, if you were in the longs, paid yourselves. Dow is lagging a little bit. Again, I would see this as divergence personally. Okay, the highs being taken out on Nasdaq, the highs kind of being dodged on Dow. I would wait for S&P to take out that high. I mean, we're basically already there, so I'm gonna be waiting for that to happen first. Sheesh, I already see people in the longs from last night. It's crazy. S&P previous daily high has been taken in my feed. Ooh, that's interesting. So there is divergence. So just waiting for a little bit more evidence before, if I do participate on shorts, like I'm just waiting for a little bit more evidence. That's interesting though, that your S&P high has already been taken. This one has yet to be taken. I'm wondering if my broker it's taken. EU flying right now. You know what, bro? On my broker, S&P's high also got taken out. Yeah. I think I have 8 cap. Well, I'm looking at 8 cap. And yeah, that previous daily high did already get taken. Yeah, and a couple of brokers, the previous daily high already got taken. My boy Jerome and these longs on Nasdaq, they're beautiful. Oh, I think your low missed. Ah, damn. It's a really good bias though, for sure. Thanks for sharing that on the chat. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for this S&P. You know, it's either divergence. But DXY is moving towards our daily objective very nicely. Right, from that 15-minute imbalance, we're just moving and melting down. Just following order flow is very simple, very easy. Just looking at some more lows. Remember, price action never prints in a certain direction without an objective. So the way that we look at the higher time frames, the way that I broke down monthly, weekly, dailies, the same way that you'd look at every single time frame. Price action never moves without the intention of running towards liquidity or for liquidity. I'm currently not in anything. Nothing really went to my areas. If they went to my targets, just no entries. Yeah, I might you know, here in like 15 minutes, I might call it a stream. It was a really good stream already, but I do believe that we're just gonna continue going long from these imbalances. You know, in terms of Nasdaq, if we make it back to that previous daily high right there and then go long, ooh, that would be beautiful. But that divergence is taking place. Let's see. DXY, not yet at the daily objective. Super close, guys. Super close. And then again, I won't be surprised if we go to this previous monthly low. Once the new month closes, I won't be surprised if FOMC or NFP take out this low. Or CPI even, I don't know. But I'm expecting at the beginning and the first 2 weeks of November, within that period window of the first 2 weeks, I'm expecting that previous monthly low to be ran. Now that monthly low swept a lot of liquidity, but it's mainly its own liquidity. It's only taking out its previous weekly lows. So I don't know. That monthly imbalance looks very attractive. We'll see. Okay, we'll just play by the book. But until DXY takes out this low, I will not be shorting indices. Okay. Till DXY takes out that low, I will not be shorting indices. I mean, they're melting. They're pretty nice. Not gonna lie. But yeah, not gonna take indices. Not yet. Just accumulating and continuing to the upside. Beautiful. Yeah, like I mentioned, I'm probably going to be here for another 15 minutes to see what price action does. But if we don't get anything in the next 15-minute window, probably just going to call it a stream, at least for me. Call it GG's and move on. Actually, let me just announce this for you guys because I believe no one should miss these. ICT is going live at 11 a.m. Eastern. Here is his hold on. Let me just send you guys this in the chat as well. This is his YouTube. Okay. That's his YouTube right there. He's going to go live at 11 a.m. Eastern. My boy, Eddie. I don't know if Eddie's on here still. But Eddie, if you're still on here, bro, we should go. Instead of having our one-on-one today, we should watch ICT going live. Honestly. Whenever that man goes live, just know, guys, if ICT ever goes live, he's not going to go live too many more times. But if he ever goes live, if he ever goes live in the morning during my stream, just know that I'm not going to stream until his is over. or if his is gonna take place of mine. But if he's ever on stream while we're on stream, just know we're gonna switch it out. Eddie said he's down. Perfect, bro. Perfect. I appreciate your flexibility. Yeah, I don't want to miss ICT's last few live. These are his last few live sessions. Can you guys believe that he's gonna be done doing these calls, these live sessions, and who knows if he'll ever come back and do more. But you know, for now, I'm gonna take it like it's the last few sessions, and like he said, he may not be coming back to educational side of things. So to be a part of his live streams is pretty powerful. November he's stopping, right? Yeah. So this like next week or two, in the next 2 weeks, he's gonna be stopping, and then he next year when he enters the Robbins Cup, yeah, he's gonna be active on Twitter, but he did mention that he's not gonna be as active on Twitter, on YouTube. It's not gonna be like the whole mentorship that he had 2023. Yeah. It's gonna be pretty interesting. Like I said, you just never know what's gonna happen. You never know what's gonna happen. He could lose that fucking Robbins Cup. He's talking way too much shit. It's a lot of pressure, bro. It's a lot of fucking pressure. Like, even if he weren't to pass it and be number one, like, I still be rooting for him no matter what. I just think it's a lot of pressure, man. Personally, like, I don't know. If that's why I personally have never, you guys have probably never, if you guys ever seen a honcho on any fucking competition, it's not me. I promise you it's not me. Okay? I don't like that type of pressure. I think that I admire people that can take on that type of pressure. It's fun, but yeah. What's Robbins Cup? So let me pull it up. Robbins Trading World. It's a World Championship. Let me share my screen. So it's like a really, really intense trading competition. There it is. Really intense trading competition that happens every year. The World Cup Championships, the gold standard of trading excellence since 1983. And the Ultimate Trading Challenge. And you can do different types. There's Forex, there's futures, there's stocks, there's options. There's a bunch of different... Oh, futures and Forex. There we go. Never mind. I swear to God, somebody said that there was options. But there's futures and Forex version. Yeah. I mean, you guys can see here too the current 2023 fourth quarter day trading championship. Eduardo Ramos from Brazil, 63%. Then you got 2023 World Championships futures trading. Sergey Magala, he's at 268%. Fabio, he's at 259%. Sergio, third place, he's at 179%. Holy shit. And Forex, this guy is nuts. Look, he's first place on both the futures and Forex market. Who is this guy? I'm going to look him up. I'm going to stalk him a little bit. Oh, he has a whole page. I guess that's him, you know. I'm gonna go look for some content from him, you know, maybe his blogs, maybe he's got some YouTube pages that we can go look at. But I don't think anything in English. But that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty fucking cool. That's a flex right there. So, anyways, that's what ICT is gonna enter, right? That's what he's gonna be entering. The Global Cup Trading Championships and Futures from 2023 to 2024 still standing from June 1st to October 27th. Oh, that's oh, that was a couple days ago. It just ended. Wow. Just ended. I mean, follow some of these guys. Do your own research, but I don't see the American flag up there. Oh, there it is. Robert Miner. Shout out to Robert. Putting America on the map. Okay, let's go over here on indices. Back to indices. Back to the charts. I think it's not, there's no parameters in there. That'd be cool to see somebody from the pod in there. I don't know if anybody from the pod would actually join though, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. That'd be cool if someone from the pod actually joined it, but yeah, I just don't really see that happening. There's no parameters to win. It's whoever does the most. There's no parameters to win. It's whoever does the most. I'm sure there's parameters of losses and all that stuff, but yeah, put RJ up there. I think he has to put himself up there for sure. Yeah, this is where traders, you know, we see screenshots everywhere, every day, all the time, but that's definitely where traders those are, I guarantee you, none of those traders up there, that the names that you guys saw, are posting screenshots of their fucking trades. I guarantee you guys, none of those guys are up there posting trades or sharing screenshots. If anything, at some point they share withdrawals, but yeah, no screenshots like that. Yeah, these are like, you know, that's the big boys league. One day we traded into that area, previous daily high on NASDAQ. This is kind of where I want to see if anything does take place to continue going long. I don't see the short yet on the XY, just building up more downside liquidity. No surprise there. I'm not surprised at all there that we didn't take out that low. Yeah, the shorts are playing out kind of nicely right now. Everything respected that bearish order flow. S&P just shorting. Not the biggest shorts on Dow. Dow has been very stagnant all session. Yeah, I honestly don't really see anything. So, I mean, if we do accumulate from here, there's the objectives to the upside have already been taken. So, even if we were to accumulate, I don't think I'd take it. Dow would probably be the only one, maybe S&P, but yeah, guys, I'm gonna leave it there. This was a very important session. We did mark and set ourselves up for the week. We know the schedule in terms of economic calendar. We have our areas. We've defined our ranges. We've looked at all the areas that we've potentially price action could be drawn to and where we can trade from. Okay, I stand with these levels. Nothing's changed. If anything does change, you guys will be the first ones to know. And yeah, guys, I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And guys, again, I dropped that ICT page so that way you guys can hop on his live stream here in like 45 minutes. Make sure you don't miss his live streams. I promise you guys will find it very insightful, especially for those students who were part of the boot camp. Especially for those who were a part of the bootcamp, you guys will find it very insightful. Okay, so don't miss any of those classes. These shorts from Dow from this imbalance could play out. Again, I'm not taking any shorts. I'm going to stay. But that bearish divergence, NASDAQ taking out the highs, S&P dodging the highs, and Dow dodging those highs. There's some bearish divergence there. We could come down for these lows, but not across the board. I just don't see it happening across the board. Just some initial lows of the week, getting back into the new week opening gap, but I'm not looking at the previous weekly low yet because I don't think we're heading there now. Okay, I just don't see it yet, but if we do take out some lows, I'd say it's the initial lows of the day. Dow is probably going to chill. S&P initial lows of the day. Okay, new week opening gap. Yeah, let's have another amazing week. Stay blessed, guys. I stand with these levels. Let me know if you guys have any questions. All right. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. All right. See you guys at 9 a.m.